right, so you've had your moment to shine, to have a go at this, and now it's time for me to have mine. So I've had my coffee, whales. You like my whales cup? Whales, and the other side it has the dragon, the dragon. Okay, wow. You gotta enjoy yourself, yeah. You gotta enjoy yourself. Maths is beautiful. Doing maths is fun. Let's get going with this. Make the question smaller, and we'll start going through. Draw a diagram. That was the first thing you needed to do. Did you draw a diagram? Hmm? Visualizing is a very powerful skill that you want to make sure you have for A levels. Now you'll see on the screen I've brought up a panel called Visual Thinking there, and you'll see that throughout. Mathematical modeling, that's what we're looking at. I'll be more specific in terms of the learning objective, the skill we're really focusing on here. But on that panel, I'm going to bring up all my thinking in terms of all the different skills you need to be able to do for this question that you should have shown. If you haven't drawn a diagram, you stop me now, pause the video, and try and draw a diagram. Please, you got to do that. Yeah? Come on, go on. Right, what should that look like? That's the diagram you should look like. We talked about, the question said it's about a rectangle in shape. Talked about diagonal. So I have a rectangle, I have a diagonal. Now note, did you label the vertices on your diagram? That's really important because you need to name your diagram. This is now rectangle ABCD with lengths AB, AD, and so on and so forth. That's very important to help you with telling your story. We're going to tell a story to answer this question. That's the other information we had. It said that the diagonal is 25 millimeters. In our model, we don't need to put in the units for just yet. Sometimes it's useful, but in this case, it's the same units throughout, millimeters, so it's fine. Okay, so we have that there, 25. The other bit it says is that one side is 3 millimeters longer than the other. We don't know the sides, but I can call one x, the short side, and then the other side will have to be x plus 3. Yeah? X, one side is x, the other side is 3 millimeters longer, so it's x plus 3 millimeters. Now I can say let CD be x. When I'm talking about x, I'm talking about the width, I'm talking about CD. And that means that AD is x plus 3, x plus 3. Question I'll ask, just to make sure we understand the model we've built, what other side is x? Yeah, you should say AB. What other side is x plus 3 in length? That's correct, BC. Fantastic. Simple models. I just wanted to make a mention. One of the really the thing I'm really excited about, part of this course in terms of modeling, there's a lot of modeling, mathematical modeling. In essence, that's the big change with A levels, advanced levels in the UK and across the world looking at the IB. It's always been embedded in the IB, that principle, but they're really pushing. We now know it's about thinking, it's about mathematically modeling, taking a real life problem, creating a mathematical model, getting an answer, and then interpreting that answer in the real world. That's the skill, that is the gold dust, that's what you want to develop, that is what you want to assess. And there's only so much you can do on pen and paper for your written exams, so one of the things we're going to do in my course, we're going to go way beyond that. By the time you get to doing your advanced exams, if you choose to, if you're doing exams, if you're set up to do exams, you'll fly through those, because you'll be doing the exams, you'll also be doing stuff in Excel, Python, R. In other words, we're going to be really using the power of technology. I'll show you how to, introductory, yeah, how to use technology to solve some rather interesting problems, how you can start using it as a tool to solve problems. It's going to be very useful for statistics because you have that big data set that we're going to play with. And you'll get those opportunities. It's something, even if you're thinking about doing the EPQA and the EPQ, extended project qualification in the UK, maybe that will give you some ideas in terms of what you can do. Right, so that's that plug there. That's that. You're not going to find that in school. Highly unlikely. Let's be serious. Yeah, highly unlikely. It might, maybe a couple schools, but most schools, not going to happen. You can do that with Raymondson. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's get back to our simple model here. Happy so far? That's the shape of the circuit board. That's the diagonal. We have the x. We have the x plus 3. Pythagoras is what should come to your mind. I want to find x. I want to find x plus 3. Focus on the right angle triangle. Now, based on Pythagoras, and that's another skill you have to learn. You can see it there. Pythagoras. Write an equation. Let me see what you come up with. Write an equation based on Pythagoras if you haven't done so already. Pause me to do it. Okay? Good. And by the way, I'm going to put on my glasses. I won't look up to you too much. Actually, I want to look up to you, so this is going to become confusing, but I'll try a bit. If I look up the light, it's going to mess up the light, so I won't, the reflections. That's what your equation should look like. X squared plus x plus 3 squared is equal to 25 squared. Short side squared plus short side squared gives me long side squared, the hypotenuse. Opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse. You need to recall that. Then, well, now we have an equation. We've formed an equation. That's a skill you need to have in A levels. Really, really important skill. Where do you think we go next? What skill do we have to use next? Yes, expanding and simplifying. You need to get that quadratic needs to be expanded. You need to simplify. We need to get rid of the squares. So again, if you haven't done so as yet, pause me, have a go. That's what it should look like. X squared plus 9x plus 9. The quadratic x plus 3 squared is x squared plus 9x plus 9. 25 squared is 625. Use your calculator. It's advanced work. You can use your calculator as much as you want, but you should know 25 squared. Then we have, when we simplify that, we'll get 2x squared plus 9x plus 9 is equal to 625. Where do I go from there? Where do I go from there? Okay. We now have an equation. We want to solve a quadratic to solve. How do you go about setting up a quadratic to solve? So you see yet another skill. See how many things are going on here? Okay. You need to set it equal to 0. So go on, rearrange that equation. So you have an expression on the left is equal to an expression equals to 0. And if you can solve it, go for it. Go for it. Okay. This is the guided practice you get from me. If you're not sure how to start, I'll give you the space. I'll give you the hints to move forward. Okay. That's what I'm here for. That's what you should end up with. Solve it. Pause me, try to solve it. Use the techniques. You should have learned 3 different ways to solve quadratics when you were doing higher GCSE. You have choice now. At least 2 of them definitely would work. Go on, go for it. The preferred method for a question like this, because of the big numbers, would be using the formula. And there you have it. You need to know that form. Well, you should know it by now. That should be up here. Okay, you want to have the formula. You want to have it there. Okay, so if you weren't sure about that, see how I'm giving you opportunities. Go for it. Substituting, recall a is the coefficient of x squared. So 2x squared, that means the value of a is 2. B is the coefficient of x. So in this case, b is 9. C is our constant. Note it's not 616, it's minus 616. We have to take the sign in front of it. It's the same thing. B is plus 9. That's why we just wrote 9, because it's positive. But you take the sign in front of the number. Don't make mistakes with that. At that stage, you substitute into the formula using your calculator. Another skill there. Big one that we have to spend a lot of time on. The ICT is going to be exciting, but you can't use Excel, Python, and R. Nothing that does symbolic manipulation. You can't use any of it in the exam, but you can use your calculator. And recommended calculator for this course, Casio FX 991EX. The EX is the best one, better one. Very powerful machine that is in the rules. You can use it. I'll show you how to use it. Make sure you can get the most out of it. Just be careful for exam purposes. If you use the calculator, you still must show your steps. If you don't show working, you're going to lose marks. So be very careful with that. Those are the values you'll get for x when you plugged it in. If you haven't done so, you do so for now. Yeah. And then, where do you go from there? Are you done? The question said find the dimensions of the circuit board. I have one dimension. Do I? What else you need to take into account now? The last piece before we more or less finish it up, interpreting solutions in context. That is so important. It has to make you we built a mathematical model. We solved it using mathematical tools, quadratics, Pythagoras, etc. Now we have an answer we need to interpret in real life, in the context of the question. In this question, we're talking about the dimensions of a circuit board. Can the dimensions be negative? No. So the only valid value for x in our context, mathematically it's valid minus 19, but in this context the only valid answer is x is equal to 15.44 millimeters. X cannot be negative. So we will ignore the negative part. Yeah, with me? You see this idea about interpreting solutions in context? That is so important. Please be careful with that, particularly when we're going through statistics. When you'll see it when we're experiencing it, but you must give answers in context, not just generic mathematics terminology. Okay, like I'm thinking about scatter graphs and relationships. You need to, if I'm talking about the cost of electricity over time, then when you're giving the answer, you don't tell me about positive correlation or negative correlation. You say the cost of electricity is increasing as the years go by, for example. Okay, you get what I'm saying? You must frame your answers in context. That's so important at this level. So x cannot be negative, and to finish off the job, that means the width, 15.44 millimeters. We can bring in the units now, and then that means the length will be 15.44 plus 3, 18.44 millimeters. Okay. Now, what do you stop there? In an exam, if you stop there, no, you do not. What do? You always check your answer. Okay, always check your answer. So in this case, and I'm going to stop now, I'm going to give you a chance to do that. You will put in your values for x and your values for x plus 3, in other words your lengths for AD and your lengths for CD, and you'll see if you'll get 25. Okay, and then you can have confidence that what you've done is correct. Okay, so that's what this question should look like. I'm not going to do the check for you. I'm leaving that for you at this stage. What I am going to do for you is give you another question. Okay? And as an incentive, note, after you read through this one, it's a slightly different model, or it is a different model, but it is based on work you've done in your GCSEs, in your higher maths. Okay? And the incentive, when you finish, just have a go, try it, see what you come up with. I want to encourage you to be willing to try things, and send an email to mattstutor@Raymondson. Scan and send a copy of your work. Make sure you have your name on it, and we'll give you the solution, the full detailed solution. You'll get access to that. That's our gift to you. Okay, and I'll add to that. If you send a solution before the 31st of August, okay, you'll be entitled to a 50% discount. We'll send out a discount code for you. So if you decide to take up one of our tutoring course, then you can get 50% off the basic package by just showing me that you're willing to try. How does that sound? Okay, right. So have a go. It's only going to benefit you, and if you're wrong, we'll show you how. It's fine to be wrong. You learn from mistakes. Have a go. Send your solution. Get it done as soon as possible.